This is Democracy Now! I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. President Biden ordered a 100-day moratorium on deportations as one of his first acts in office. But on Monday, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, deported at least 72 people to Haiti. Those deported included a 2-month-old baby and 21 other babies and children, which seems to contradict the order by a federal judge that blocked the moratorium but left in place instructions that only the most serious immigration cases should be subject to deportation. The Guardian reports the adults and children were deported on 2 flights to the Haitian capital Port-au-Prince as the country faces skyrocketing political violence and protests against the Haitian president's U.S.-backed regime. They've been going on for months, these protests. Their push came after hundreds were deported within Biden's first days in office, mostly from Haiti and African countries, including a man named Paul Piralus, who was deported to Haiti. New York Congressmember Mondaire Jones had previously worked to successfully stop his deportation by the Trump administration before Biden was sworn in. But last Tuesday, Mondaire Jones tweeted, quote, "At 3 a.m., my staff woke up to an urgent call. Suddenly and in the dead of night, ICE was set to deport Rockland County's beloved Paul Piralus to Haiti, a country he has never been to," unquote. Monday's deportations to Haiti came after ICE had just suspended deportation flights to Haiti on Friday, following pressure from immigrant justice advocates, including our next guest, Guerline Jozef, co-founder and executive director of the Haitian Bridge Alliance, an immigrant support group. She's joining us from Orange County, California, not far from the border. Welcome to Democracy Now!, Guerline. Can you explain what just happened? How does a 2-month-old number of babies and overall more than 70 people get deported to Haiti after the moratorium of Biden is put into effect? Is ICE just gone rogue, or is this part of a Biden-Harris plan?
Good morning, Amy. Thank you for having us. Actually, we are all in disbelief of what we are witnessing right now in this United States of ours, to see how we continue to witness the same draconian, the same cruel and inhumane practice that President Trump left behind. Yesterday, as you mentioned, there were 2 deportation flights to Haiti. Unfortunately, the first one carrying about 72 people. Out of those 72 people included 22 children, and we saw as young as 2 months old. And we are looking at children 2 months, 10 years old. They are right in the middle of developmental stage where we should be providing protection for those people, but we see we are sending them into a burning house. Literally, there's a house burning, and we are sending pregnant women and children into those burning houses.
And Guerline Jozef, apparently ICE is using a controversial health statute, Title 42, that's about more than 70 years old, that the Trump administration first started using. What is Title 42?
Title 42 they are using right now because of the pandemic. But the reality is those people, I will say, are testing negative for COVID-19. So therefore, it is an excuse to continue to deport people. And as you mentioned earlier, under the moratorium from the president, did not provide provision or relief and protection for those most vulnerable people, as we mentioned, that have been at the border for the past 4 years, waiting for a chance to ask for asylum. Understanding that President Trump completely destroyed the immigration system, completely trapped people at the U.S.-Mexico border, from MPP to third country asylum agreement, forcing people to literally die, understanding that Black immigrants are the most vulnerable, the most impacted, and the most neglected group of immigrants. So this has to stop. We can no longer stand by and watch people's lives being destroyed. We are asking and demanding that all deportation flights are stopped immediately.
And is it your sense that that ICE is acting on its own, or that the Biden administration, the officials who have come into to Homeland Security and to ICE, are the newly appointed officials, are aware of this?
I cannot speak on behalf of ICE, nor the government, nor the administration. But what I can say is that we saw the pain. We hear it in the voices of those children and those asylum seekers and those immigrants. We do not know, what is going on. We do not know what the relationship is. But what we are seeing is unacceptable. So we are asking for President Biden, for the administration, to do what needs to be done. ICE needs to listen to what the administration and the secretary are instructing them to do, right? They cannot just decide they're going to do whatever they want. We understand under President Trump, the boldness that it took for them to gut the immigration system. We understand the boldness that it took to literally uplift these draconian practices. So now we are asking boldness for good. We are asking boldness to build better. We are asking boldness for relief and protection for the people. So whatever it is the relationship might be between ICE and the administration, we want this to be the catalyst that we move forward to as a country.
Juan and I...
We are also asking the Haitian government to not accept those deportation flights. As you mentioned, we have a stateless man in Paul Perillis. I was on the phone with him and his attorney and Congressman Monter Jones' staffer when they came to take him. I was on the phone hearing to his voice. I was on the phone with his attorney telling him to please go with them because they wanted to remove him forcibly. While he was on the phone, his attorney did not receive a note saying that he was being removed. We only found out because we were on the phone with him when they came to get him.
Juan and I met in Haiti covering the U.S.-backed coups that took place there. Finally, Guerline, what people are being deported to in Haiti? And we don't have much time.
Yes, thank you so much. Actually, right now, we are in the middle of a major uprising. We are worried that we might end up with a bloody massacre. In one side, we have the opposition and a lot of people in the diaspora in U.S. Congress stating that based on the Constitution, the president should have left on Sunday, February the 7th. The president is saying no, his term ends next year. So right now, we are asking for protection. Those deportations cannot still continue to happen in the middle of a major crisis in Haiti. As you mentioned, we continue to see over and over the neglect, the lack of respect for life on both sides. So we are asking for that to be stopped.